Mike Harris, Gun Owners Action League, the Director of Public Policy. And I'm here to just discuss a little bit about the 2024 election results. It was a pretty good night for everyone, I think, who believes in the Second Amendment. But I just kind of want to go through some details and kind of just what happened on the Massachusetts state level, because I think there are some misconceptions of what could possibly be going on the state level and what the federal election results can affect and what they won't. But first, I'll get into a little bit of the details. On the state level, in the Massachusetts State Senate, the balance of power shifted slightly, ever so slightly, to 35-5, with Republican Kelly Dooner picking up a seat in Bristol County, which moves up the Republican count to 5. Unfortunately, though, this does come at the cost of losing Senator Mark Pacheco. He's a Democrat out of Bristol County. He used to hold that seat. He was a longtime supporter of the Second Amendment in the Commonwealth. Like I said, he's a Democrat. He was the only one to break from his party ranks in the Senate and vote against 48-85 in the final vote. So that's kind of cool. It would be a shame to lose him. But, it's good that we're not losing a two-way advocate in that seat. So that's a good thing. Additionally, and unfortunately, Representative Matt Muratori, who was running for Senate in Plymouth County, did lose that seat, and it's unfortunate because he was a good friend of ours and a good friend to the Second Amendment in the House, and it's a shame to not have him in the Senate, but that's all right. I don't think he's finished by any means, and he'll be back, I think, in some respect or another. Moving on to the Massachusetts State House of Representatives, the balance of power is staying about exactly the same. It's 134 Democrats to 25 Republicans, with one unenrolled who often caucuses with and votes with the Republicans in certain matters. She's pretty good on our issue area as well. She's pretty good on the Second Amendment stuff. So, it's a solid 26 votes on most things usually. For us. Republican Justin Thurber unseated Democrat incumbent Patricia Haddad in the 5th Bristol District. And while Rep. Thurber will certainly be a welcome addition to the legislature's pro-Second Amendment cohort, the loss of Rep. Haddad is kind of unfortunate. She was also another longtime supporter of Second Amendment rights in the Commonwealth and was another Democrat who voted against H. 4885. So it's a shame to lose her, but Rep. Thurber, I think, is going to do a great job. He's a great guy, and he's good on our issues as well. Representative Ratty Mom is out of Lowell is another loss for the Second Amendment in Massachusetts. He's another Democrat, strong, consistent supporter of the Second Amendment. He voted against H. 4885 in the final vote, but he had lost his primary earlier in the year and was not on the November ballot. It remains to be seen how his replacement will treat us in the Second Amendment. But, that's a shame. It's a shame to lose him. But again, overall, it was a wash for the GOP as they kept all of their current seats, but lost in the 1st Plymouth District when, Rep. Muratori unsuccessfully made his bid for Senate, had to give up his seat in the House. But the win in the 5th Bristol District with Rep. Thurber, they'll kind of keep the same count. So, but again, goal is a nonpartisan organization, but, traditionally, one party is a little more friendly to our issue area than the other. So if it sounds like I'm going a little heavy on the Republican news, it's just one of those things where reality kind of takes over. But let's move on to the really fun part, the federal election results. As great as the federal election results were for gun owners across the country, or perception-wise at least, unfortunately they will not have much immediate impact on gun laws specifically in Massachusetts. State-level laws are not affected by federal elections of either the president or members of Congress, unless Congress and the president can make moves on far-reaching legislation that will declare certain things unconstitutional by the use of the Supremacy Clause. So, if the Congress decides to do something that would negate the state-level laws, they can do that. But, that hasn't happened yet, and who knows what's going to happen moving forward. The election of President Trump in a Republican Congress, however, does come with it some likely benefits for all gun owners across the United States. With a friendly House of Representatives, a friendly Senate, and the ability to appoint federal judges and potentially new Supreme Court judges, gun owners could potentially have a lot to celebrate, even those in Massachusetts. This means friendly courts, which we all know have been paying dividends for the last couple of decades. We've had some landmark cases over the last few years that have really helped us in the fight for Second Amendment rights across the country as well as the Commonwealth. Bruin is a big arrow to have in the quiver, and it was likely President Trump who helped secure the court that got us that decision. So, it's a good thing. Additionally, President-elect Trump has already promised to support and sign a National Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act if he can get it through Congress and to his desk, which was kind of a surprise. It was kind of a neat thing to see. That was one of his first announcements after the election. It was pretty cool to see that he supports us right out of the gate. What that is going to look like, details-wise, remains to be seen at the moment, but it's certainly a wonderful start, and we will take it. That's awesome. It means, any state where you can travel, your Second Amendment rights don't end at that arbitrary border where your state ends. So that will be pretty cool if we can get that done. That would be awesome. We will certainly be supporting those efforts. Another good thing, which is, could be partially, largely a PR move. Trump will likely also dismantle the Office of Gun Violence Prevention that was established by President Biden, which is great for everyone, gun owners and folks who dislike bloated bureaucracy alike. It was an office to study, gun violence prevention and, use all the loaded terminology that it could to get to some, one-sided opinions. You know how that stuff works. Finally, we will likely get the most friendly ATF we've ever had since the inception of the agency. I mean, that's purely speculation on my part, but, wishful thinking and, the way he has discussed the agency and, the DOJ as a whole, especially if Attorney General Matt Gaetz or if Representative Matt Gaetz can make it through confirmation and be appointed Attorney General is like how I should phrase it. He will be the head of the DOJ and will have a lot of sway over the ATF as a working part of the administration. So, like I said, it will likely be the most friendly ATF to firearms owners that we've ever had since the inception of the agency. I think the president kind of learned his lesson about the bump stock issues and everything from the previous administration. But again, that pure speculation remains to be seen. It's kind of a little bit of wishful thinking on my part, but, just seeing the writing on the wall, it kind of looks pretty good. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I don't want to speculate a lot more. I just kind of wanted to get the message out there that, yes, the results were great for firearms owners across the country, including those in Massachusetts. However, the federal election results have little to no impact right this moment directly on Massachusetts gun laws. It's unfortunate, but Chapter 135 of the Acts 2024 will stand for, however long it takes us to get our challenges out there, or, if we somehow get a bill to repeal it through the legislature, as unlikely as that is, Elon Musk always says the most hilarious outcome is often the most likely one, so who knows? We'll see what happens. But, I'm hopeful, especially in the cases that we have rolling through federal court at the moment and on state level. We're working with national groups, the NRA, the FPC. We have a complaint that we've just received from them that we're working with them to draft. We have some other information that's forthcoming, communications and other lawsuits that we're kind of helping to get the ball rolling on. Once I get the go-ahead to kind of speak a little more publicly about those, I will certainly put a video together and some information for everyone to kind of see where that stuff is and what impact it could potentially have and how you can help us. So things are going pretty well, everyone. Keep your head up. I know we're going through a little bit of a dark time here in Massachusetts, but this is a pretty solid ray of light in an otherwise darker time. So the timeline's getting better. We'll see. Thanks, everyone. Bye.